That was awful. That was so awful, man. Oh my god. I never want to go through that shit again. I never want to go through that again. I would rather walk in on my significant other getting gangbanged on my own wedding day than have to go through that shit again. Oh my god. The flashbacks were so real. I was clenching my ass that whole game. That was not enjoyable whatsoever. We go through, and I'm happy that Barca break the drought. After 6 long years, they're finally back in the UCL semifinal. But, oh my god, that was an unacceptable performance today from the team. Unacceptable. That was pathetic. That was sad to watch. Honestly, that was so sad to watch. I have nothing positive to say about that game today. Again, Barca go through, and I'm super happy that Barca are going through. And this doesn't mean that I quit believing in this team, because I still believe they are the best team in Europe. And the other team that was supposed to be like the team that people think is the second best team in Europe so far this season, PSG, also nearly choked. But still, man, the thing with Barca is it's every single time in these second legs, it's never comfortable. It's always an ass clencher. It's always your heart rate is going 170 beats per minute. The unbeaten streak is over. I mean, Barca obviously are no longer unbeaten in 2025. Szczesny's no longer unbeaten as the Barca keeper. And, it's fine. You know what? They go through. That's the most important thing, man. Barca go through to the semifinal. But if that performance is just genuinely unacceptable. I have no other word to describe it except for unacceptable. From the get-go, Barca were just playing shit. It gave me flashbacks of Anfield, man, because Barca looked so uncomfortable. They looked so uncomfortable in that game from the start. Szczesny was making big saves from the start. Obviously, the first goal from Gurasi, he scored a hat-trick today, but his first goal was a penalty. Koundé doesn't hold his high line well. Sorry. The ball gets played into the box. Szczesny gets to the ball late. He gets all of the man and none of the ball. And it was a clear pen for Dortmund. I thought it was offside at first, but like I said, Koundé was keeping him on. And then Gurasi converts the penalty into the roof of the net. And at 1-0, I'm not gonna say I was scared. I was a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what word to use. I honestly don't know what word to use. I wasn't scared, but I was starting to get anxious. I think that's the best word I can use. I was starting to get anxious because I've been a fan of this team for such a long time, and maybe newer Barca fans post 2019 don't know the trauma that us Barca fans have gone throughout the years in this competition. But when Dortmund scored that goal, and I kept telling myself, bro, as you guys know, I've said it this whole year, this team is different. I kept telling myself that. I was saying the Flickinator's not going to lose this shit. This team is different. But man, it was starting to get ugly. It was starting to get really, really ugly. And I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. But yeah, when that first goal came, I was just getting anxious. But Barca, Dortmund after that goal, they started kind of getting into the game more. They were creating chances. But then Barca had a stretch where they were kind of keeping the ball. It was looking a lot more calm. Barca were keeping possession. And they go into halftime. Only 1-0 down. Obviously, still up 4-1 on aggregate. And I was like, you know what, this is fine. We're still up 3 goals. The Flickinator is gonna talk to this team in the second half, give them that pep talk that and they're gonna come out in the second half and play much better football. And the second half was probably the worst half we've played under Hansi Flick, by far and away the worst half we played under Hansi Flick. That second half was absolutely pathetic from top down. The front three was terrible. The midfield, except for maybe Frankie de Jong and Bailey when he came on, they weren't great. And the back line, man, the back line was just Szczesny was good. Szczesny, prior to the second goal that Gurasi scored, made like 3 huge saves. He made 3 massive saves, and then obviously one of the saves led to the corner, and then the corner comes in, the ball comes into the back post. They hit it back into the fucking center of the pitch, and then Gurasi's right there, similar to the goal that Lewandowski scored in the first leg. Gurasi this time, obviously the goal that Lewandowski scored, where Rafinha headed it back to him. That I think it was the third goal of the game. It was practically the same thing. They head it back into the box, and then Gurasi's right there to tuck it away into basically an empty net. Szczesny, it was hard for him to get to the ball there because there's so much traffic in the box, so I don't really blame Szczesny for that. And then that was 2-0, and at that point I was scared. At 2-0 I was scared because it was starting to get ugly for the team. It was starting to get really, really ugly, and it seemed like Barca weren't waking up. It just seemed like Barca weren't waking up. But then the goal came. I mean, Fermin Lopez crosses the ball into the box, and it's an own goal from a Dortmund player. I forget his name. I keep forgetting this guy's name from Algeria. Ben Sebaini, that's his name. Ben Sebaini scores an own goal. That pass from Koundé, by the way, to Fermin, that pass in behind was beautiful. And then when Barca scored that goal, I was like, okay, breathe, because against Roma we never got the goal. Against Liverpool we never got the goal. Today we actually got the goal. So like obviously the Dortmund crowd kind of became like they kind of got out of the game. They never actually went out of the game. They were singing the whole time. They were chanting the whole time. That crowd, but it's amazing. It's one of the best crowds, if not the best crowd in Europe. Those fans are honestly, it's mesmerizing to watch them. The way they sing the whole game, props to them. But yeah. After that, I was like, okay, Dortmund, their morale's going to be down because they thought they were going to make a comeback, and now Barca scored the goal, and it was an own goal. It's over now. And then Dortmund obviously ended up scoring one more goal. Gurasi scores because Araujo clears it. Araujo basically plays him an assist. He literally plays him a pass, a perfect pass for him to score that goal. Gerard Martin gets skinned there, bro. Gerard Martin gets absolutely skinned there. That goal was awful defending. From Gerard Martin to Araujo. Araujo was, in my opinion, Araujo was good in the first half. He made a couple big plays. He made some big interceptions. He made some good last tackles. He was running. He was. I don't know. I thought Araujo didn't have the worst first half. He wasn't amazing, but he didn't have the worst first half. But that second half from Araujo, man, it was like flashbacks to that PSG game last year in the same stage of the competition, second leg of the quarterfinal. It just really left me. I don't know. It left me uncomfortable. I don't even know if that's the right word. It's very difficult for me to find words right now to describe what I saw today, because I'm honestly still in a state of shock. I understand that Barca went through, and people might think I'm being dramatic, but I had so much confidence in this team in the second leg. I was like, this team is so much different to the other teams. We're not going to suffer today. I thought Barca might win 4-0 again, and boy, was I wrong. But yeah, I mean, what can we say? Fermin has to work on his finishing. He has to work on his finishing, man, because he had a chance, a clear chance in that second half, and he missed it. I understand he played the ball for the own goal, but he's got to work on his finishing. He's got to be better. Lamine Yamal was poor from start to finish today. He was so bad. He obviously got subbed off. He was so bad today, man. He wasn't good in the first game Barca played against Dortmund back in December, that game that Barca won 3-2 with that Ferran Torres winner. And he wasn't great again today. He was simply terrible. Lewandowski was the best of the front three, but that's not really saying much because he wasn't great. He really wasn't that good. He had a couple good dribbles where he was carrying the ball forward. He had a couple good passes in behind, but for the most part, he wasn't great. You know, he wasn't that amazing. But again, to me, he was the best of the front three. And Rafinha today, bro. Wow, he didn't do a single thing right. And you guys know how much I love Rafinha and how much I back Rafinha and how much, you know, how happy I am with the season that he's having. I'm so excited every time I watch him play. It's just, I've loved watching Rafinha throughout this whole season. I think he's been amazing. He should be in the podium for the Ballon d'Or. But oh my God, that was terrible. He couldn't make a right pass. He couldn't, he wasn't, like everything that we saw from Rafinha, he couldn't do anything right. Everything we've loved from Rafinha so far this season, it all disappeared today. He was basically non-existent. He was basically playing against Barca. Barca were playing with 10 men because Rafinha was so bad today. Gavi, I thought, was actually decent today. I thought he was winning the ball back. I thought he was playing well. Frankie de Jong, to me, was one of the best players for Barca. But again, that's not really saying much because I think the whole team played like shit. Gerard Martin obviously got skinned for the third Gurasi goal. I think he's good defensively, man, but you see that, like, I think this game goes differently if Balde's healthy. He's not a guy that you can rely on in this stage of a competition. And I think, look, he's a good backup option, if that, but Gerard Martin he's not reliable enough, and he's simply not reliable enough. But again, he's gonna have to start because Balde's hurt, so we'll see how that plays out for the rest of the season. Hopefully Balde can come back by the time the semifinals come around. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen because there was reports that came out that the test for Balde, they did more tests and they came out not so positive. So whatever. Kubarsi, I actually thought Kuba had a decent game. He was obviously the best center back on the pitch for Barca because the other center back, Ronald Araujo, I talked about it already, but I think he had a good first half. Like I said, that second half was a Hall of Shame performance. Hall of Shame from Araujo. That was, oh my God, that was hard to watch. Koundé obviously kept the men on for the goal, so that you could argue that was his fault, even though I don't really think it was his fault because Szczesny commits the foul. But then he makes up for it by playing that pass to Fermin Lopez for Barca's only goal. Not even Barca's only goal, for the goal. Well, yeah, Barca's only goal, but it was an own goal. That's 2 games in a row now where Barca don't score a goal. Like against Leganés, it was an own goal, and today it was an own goal. And then Szczesny, man, I actually thought conceded 3 goals. I don't really think you could say any of them were his fault. Obviously, the penalty, no, the first one was his fault because he commits the penalty. But like I said, I think Szczesny was actually Barca's best player. I actually think he played a really, really good game. It's a shame that his unbeaten streak is coming to an end. But yeah, man, I don't even know what to say. I really don't know what to say. Bailey came into the game, and I thought he was amazing, bro. He provided so much. He provided so much. Calmness for the team when he came in. I thought the game kind of changed when Bailey came on again. Dortmund ended up scoring even when Bailey was on the pitch. But But I think when he came on, I felt a lot more calm as a fan. I felt a lot more serene. I don't know if that's even a word. Again, I'm sorry about this video, bro. I don't even know what I'm saying sometimes, but I honestly, like, I haven't fully processed what I just watched. Again, Barca went through, which is the important thing, but that was unacceptable today, man. I've talked about this front three at length throughout this whole season. I've waxed poetic about how good they've been in these big games. Just back to last week on Wednesday, they were amazing. I mean, each of them scored, assisted. I mean, they were so good. And then today, oh my God, all three of them were awful. What else? What else am I gonna say? I'm looking at my notes here. Yeah, I mean, Gurasi, we know how good of a striker he is, but to let him get a hat trick today is unacceptable. And yeah, bro, I don't know. Obviously, Barca go through, and I'm super happy about that, and every Barca fan should be happy about that. And like I said in the beginning of the video, this shouldn't discourage us from what we believe this team can achieve for the remainder of the season, because I still believe that Barca can win the treble. Okay, I still really believe that. Trust me, I do. But performances like this just bring me back to a time that I don't want to remember as a fan of this club, man. And it's just, there's something about this team in these second legs of these UCL games when they're up big that they just, like, I don't know what it is, man. Like, I thought Hansi Flick was changing that, but I don't know. I'm not gonna put it on Hansi, bro, because I don't even know. Do I think he coached the best game today? No. But I just think the team looked lost, bro. From the start, we couldn't string two passes together. It was so hard to watch. It was such a sloppy start to the game. Rafinha was misplacing passes, playing out from the back. We couldn't do shit. So, Lamine Yamal, that's 2 games in a row now where he doesn't look great. I think fatigue is catching up to this team, and it's honestly not the best time for it to be happening because we're in the most important stretch of the season. But with all that being said, man, Barca are UCL semifinalists. The drought finally comes to an end. The drought finally comes to an end. It's been 6 years since I've watched my team, since we've watched our team, if you're a Barca fan watching this, not just me, all of us, since we've watched our team make a UCL semifinal. So I think we should all celebrate that. I think we should all be ecstatic because it doesn't carry over. You know, whoever we're going to play in the semifinal, whether it's Inter or Bayern, it's a fresh leg. It's 2 new games. And, you know, there's really no, like, I don't think there's going to be any carryover into those 2 games, okay? I don't think there's going to be any carryover, especially it's going to be a lot easier if Bud is healthy. But it's just times like this where I want to pull my fucking hair out of my hair because I want to pull my hair out of my hair. I want to pull my hair out of my head, sorry, because I get so fucking frustrated, man. Like, we should be better than this. We should be better than this. We're way better than Dortmund, man. We're so much better than Dortmund. You know what's crazy? I don't even think Dortmund were that great today. I don't think Dortmund were carving us apart. If you look at their goals, I mean, the first one was a penalty. The second one, it's from a corner. It's like, I'm not gonna say it's lucky, but it's not like they were carving us apart. And the third goal, Araujo gives it to Gurasi. So they weren't like picking us apart. You know, it wasn't anything special that we saw today from Dortmund. It was just Barca continuing to have these choking tendencies in the biggest competition in European football. And I thought it was different in the group stages, but I keep forgetting it's a totally different ball game now that we're in the knockout rounds of the competition. It's different, man. The pressure, everything is just so much different compared to a league phase game or a group stage game back in the day. I don't know. I don't even know. Every player was fucking shit, man. Honestly, every player was shit. Unacceptable from the team. This is the most mad I've been in a match review this whole season. I haven't had any reason to be mad this year, man. If you guys watched me last season, I was this pissed off after every game. It hasn't been that way this season, man. This team has been so good. I haven't had to get this mad, even in the losses, bro. And today, even though we lost, but we went through, I can't be happy with that. Nobody should be happy with that. And again, it's great that we're gonna get to see Barca playing a UCL semifinal. Okay, I'm so don't like my demeanor right now. Don't get it twisted. I'm literally so hyped, but it should be better than that. That was way too close for comfort. And if it wasn't for that own goal that Dortmund scored, I don't know, because those last 10 minutes felt like the longest 10 minutes of my life. Genuinely felt like the longest 10 minutes of my life. The front three's got to be better, man. The front three's got to be better. I think Hansi Flick, you know, with the way that he is as a coach, I know he's not gonna accept this shit. I know he's probably gonna, you know, he's gonna chew the team out. And he's going to tell me, hey, this is not acceptable. If we want to win this competition, we got to be better than that. But again, the manager can only say so much. It comes down to the players and their ability to execute on the pitch. They have to execute. For me, he has to be better at finishing. He has to be better at finishing. Please get better at finishing, man. He's such a good player. I rate Fermin so highly, man. But he's got to get better at finishing. Against Leganés, missed an easy chance. Today, missed an easy chance. He's got to be better than that. Rafinha, I don't know what the fuck happened to him post Argentina game. He has not been the same. I understand he had a good first leg, but man, it's just the Rafinha that we're used to seeing, especially in the UCL this season. It just, I don't know what the fuck that was. Lamine, he's amazing, bro. Honestly, we all know how good Lamine Yamal is, but there's games where he just disappears and he can't do that. I understand he's still a young player. I'm gonna cut Lamine some slack because he's still young. He's 17 years old. This is one of the biggest games of his career. So I understand maybe the pressure got to him, and that's fine. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. He's a human being at the end of the day. Okay, he's not a fucking robot, but he's got to be better. And I think sometimes he gets too flashy, and I think sometimes he tries to do too much, and it hurts the team sometimes. Frankie, I don't think Frankie was great, but like I said, he was good. I mean, he was one of Barca's best players. I'm just going over the fucking player ratings again, man. I don't even know what to say. You guys let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Am I overreacting? I really don't think I am. I think any Barca fan that watched that game cannot be happy with that performance. You cannot feel confident about that game. You just can't feel confident about that game. There was nothing good about that today. Nothing good about it. Nothing good. Like, I can't take a like the only positive we can take out of that game is that Barca went through. But when this team is forced to suffer in games like this, and when they have to absorb pressure, they're not great at it. They're just not great at it. And, there's a lot of, like I said, maybe other Barca fans, like, I saw a lot of Barca fans. I was on a long Uber ride today, so I was on X. That's really the only time I'm on X is when I'm in an Uber. So I was in a long Uber ride today, and I was on X, and I was scrolling, and I saw this dude with this guy with this fucking Twitter guy that supports Barca. I don't know, all these guys are the same to me, man. Honestly, I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but they all basically have the same stupid opinions, in my opinion. Wow, you're so intelligent, bro. But anyway, this guy has this Jordi Alba profile picture, and he was talking about how Barca, how can Barca fans be scared about this game? Maybe a lot of these fans didn't watch Barca prior to 2019, but if you guys watch my match review after the first leg, I was very confident in Barca. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm like I don't want to be a hypocrite. Okay, I was very confident in Barca. I was super confident that Barca were gonna go through. I was talking as if they were already in the semifinals. Okay, I was talking as if Dortmund that second leg was just a formality. So it's not like I'm perfect. Okay. But they were talking about, like, how can you think that Barca are gonna, like, bro, you have to have what, like, there's no way that this team, doesn't matter who the coach is, doesn't matter who the players are, they have these choking tendencies in them. But again, they get the win, and that's the most important thing. So we move on. It's over. It's behind us now. Like I said, PSG nearly choked as well, so we weren't the only team today that nearly choked. It's behind us. You gotta just throw that performance away, erase it from your memory, like the Men in Black thing. Just fucking press the button and erase it from your memory, and move on. You just move on, and you just prepare for Inter or Bayern, whoever you play in the semifinal, and we'll go from there. I expect this team to bounce back, and it's better to correct things in a win, even though, again, Barca didn't win, but it's better to correct things when you go through than when you don't go through, when you get eliminated. So we can correct these things, okay? If Barca would have lost it, it would have been a utter collapse. It would have been one of the most embarrassing exits in the history of the UCL. But they didn't go. They didn't lose. Okay, so let's just all breathe. And let's just get ready for the game on Saturday against Celta Vigo, okay? I'm talking as if I'm part of the team. I'm not getting ready for any game. You're not part of the team, buddy. But anyway, those are my thoughts. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Again, I'm not trying to start any beef with any Twitter users, okay? I'm not trying to do that, okay? I don't like internet drama. So I don't want people to think that I'm here stirring beef with some random fucking X user, okay? I'm just saying, like, this team, if you were so confident they were going to go through, which I was, it's fine. Okay, we should believe in our team. But those choking tendencies we saw today, they didn't come true, but they're still very much alive. And I don't want to go through this ever again. But again, we'll figure that out. We'll see what happens in the semifinals. I love every single one of you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.